Welcome to day 6. We proclaim Mark 16:9-15, the ending of the Gospel of Mark. When Jesus had risen early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had driven 7 demons. She went and told his companions who were mourning and weeping. When they heard that he was alive and he had been seen by her, they did not believe. After this, he appeared in another form to 2 of them walking along on their way to the country. They returned and told the others that they did not believe them either. But later, as the 11 were at table, he appeared to them and rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they had not believed those who saw him after he had been raised. He said to them, "Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ." We reach the end of the Gospel of Mark. It's a summary of all the other Gospels. And it is also interesting that the octave includes narratives of every single Gospel. Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John are all included in the octave of Easter. The first thing that Mark mentions is that Jesus appeared to Mary Magdalene, and he adds this interesting detail, from whom he had driven out 7 demons. It's the only gospel where this is mentioned. Then he speaks of Luke 24, somehow the disciples of Emmaus, and then the apparition to the disciples. In all the gospel, in this last section of the Gospel of Mark, something that highlights is the doubts of the apostles. The apostles don't believe Mary Magdalene, don't believe the disciples of Emmaus. And when Jesus appears, he questions, he rebukes them for their unbelief and hardness of heart. It is like when Jesus appeared to the disciples of Emmaus. He says, "How slow to believe you are." Or as he told Thomas, "From now on, do not be unbelieving, but believe." So Jesus is not pleased with our lack of faith, with our lack of faith or with our doubts. And then he sends them out. Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel. Easter is connected with the mission of the church. Before his ascension, Jesus sends the apostles to become witnesses of the resurrection, to proclaim, to baptize, and to give to the world everything they have received from him. So even though they are weak and they have doubts, Jesus still sends them out. As they say, he doesn't call the equipped, but he equips those he calls. And then he says, go into the whole world. So this could lead us to a 6th presence of Christ, and it's the presence of Christ in creation. This is less obvious or less, if you want, supernatural. But what is the relation of creation and resurrection? In the first place, the resurrection proclaims the goodness of creation. One, the body of Jesus is resurrected, is glorified. It's a physical event. And then he uses elements of nature like fish or bread. So first, the resurrection reaffirms the goodness of creation. Second, the resurrection reminds us of the promise of the new heaven and a new earth. It's a mysterious process of glorification of matter that will happen at the end of times. Finally, the resurrection is connected somehow with nature, especially in the northern hemisphere. Flowers are blooming, spring is coming. So nature is proclaiming new life. Nature and the beauty of creation is proclaiming the resurrection. So 2 concrete applications to find Christ in the created world, in the beauty of trees and mountains and our surroundings. First, whenever you see something beautiful, try to be reminded of the resurrection. When you see a flower or the sun shining or a tree blooming, remember of the new life that is coming from the resurrected Christ. Second, try to make your spaces, let's say your house, your vehicle, your car, your office, like a cosmos, like a beautiful place. In this Easter season, everything has to manifest resurrection. Jesus left the tomb in order. he did a folding of the clothes that were wrapping him. So order and beauty express the resurrection. So as Jesus ordered his tomb, try to order your bedroom, your car, your living room, so it manifests the resurrection. Jesus is risen, he is risen indeed, and his resurrection is also brought to us through the beauty of creation. And I see you tomorrow for the last day of the octave.